Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here. Today, I have a solo playthrough for G.I. Joe, the deck building game, with a huge expansion, the New Alliances expansion, which adds Transformers. Those of us that are 80s children are reveling in the idea of playing the Joes and Transformers in the same game. And when I say huge when it comes to this expansion, I mean it. I'm actually only showing the Autobot section with the Arc, and we got characters over here like Perceptor, Bumblebee, eventually Optimus Prime, Hot Rod, all your favorites are going to be trickling in there. We have our usual opposition from Cobra, but teamed up with infamous characters like Soundwave, Megatron, Starstream, and all the ones that you remember. Yes, there is Devastator and their Constructicons as well, and a new looming threat to go along with the unfolding story of obstacles that we remember from the base game. New characters, new mechanisms, new dice. We even have Optimus Prime's trailer here as a separate piece. Gonna get into all of it. What I will not get into is an explanation of the base game mechanisms. On our channel, Colin did a playthrough of the base game, which you can check out. Go to the playlist, Renegade Deck Building Games, and Colin will take care of you. Here, I'm going to get into an overview of all the Transformers stuff, and then get into a solo playthrough with a new character, CoverGirl. Now, I usually put this in the video announcements, but I'm going to say it verbally here. There is a lot to track in this game. The Transformers expansion in particular adds cards. They're always flowing in there. A lot of different things happen between turns, interactions. I will miss stuff. There will be times where I forget to do a placement of a die, or forget to do wild dice, or account for this person or that person's bonus. There's so much going on in this game. Normally, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do while filming, but I definitely wanted to give that a flag because some people watch these videos for rules confirmation. This might not be the video for you. I can only make a promise that I will do the best that I can to get most of the rules right and then note where something goes wrong in either the comments or the video. My sincere hope, as always, is that I can show the fun of the game and let you determine if G.I. Joe, the deck building game with the New Alliances expansion with Transformers is worth your time and or money. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into the playthrough. We are the One Stop Co-op Shop, a multi-platform gaming empire, and your one stop for solo and cooperative gaming goodness. So let's talk about them Autobots. For the most part, they operate like regular Joes with a few notable exceptions. So the part where they're like Joes is they have a cost and they give you recruit to buy others. They give you dice depending on what they're good at. So for the most part, when you go out on missions, Autobots are basically more powerful versions of what you're going to get from the Joes. Couple of notable differences. First of all, some of the Autobots are set aside here. I did shuffle into the main deck, a few of them, but I have some set out here to make sure the players have a crack at them. So for Act 1, I have level 1 bots available to me. Yeah, level 1's cost 6, and that's pretty high if you know the economy of the game. So once I get to level Act 2, I can open the level 2 and then the level 3. Although I've had games where some of the level 3s that I shuffled into the deck come out turn 3, you buy them, and then you have this powerful bot. That doesn't happen every time though, so that's why the game lets you get a crack at some of the advanced bots later. Another notable difference is that they are group items. Any player can buy them. When they are bought, they go into the Arc. So if I were to purchase Perceptor, I'd pay my 6, and then they would go directly into the Arc. And they come with their own resource. So here are the resource that the Joes use. The Transformers use Energon. So of course they use Energon. Every game has to have Energon somewhere. So when I recruit an Autobot, I'm able to get a die in here. So they're the same faces. There's nothing like particular about them. This is the management of the game. So when you bring your Autobots out on missions, you roll as many dice as you want out of the Arc. So if you have a bunch, you can choose, but if you only have a couple, doesn't matter how many bots you bring out, you can only roll what's in the Arc. So I bet you're asking me, wait a minute, where is the transformations? Well, it is on the card. So I have a choice whenever I go out to a mission. I could just bring the Autobot. They do not need to be transported. They take care of themselves. Or I can bring them as their vehicles. Most of them transform into vehicles, and they can replace the vamp vehicle that brings the Joes on the regular missions. What you do is you take a Joe, the Joe that goes out, and you put the card like this. And in their alt mode, they give you the number that can go and some kind of power that they can use along the way. So you have that choice every time. Do I want to bring Autobots as their vehicle, one per, or do I want to bring them as their robot forms? The arc can also be improved in two ways. First of all, we have the Teletran module. When the Energon fills up to 6, then I get a bonus whenever I bring an Autobot on a mission, a few more skills floating around. Speaking of things that give you bonuses, here is Prime's trailer. The trailer mechanism was introduced in the previous expansion, so they give you the Optimus version of that. You pay by discarding cards. You can reduce that cost if an Autobot is on there. So Ironhide comes out and tows away Optimus Prime. I think that's a really cool visual. Just gives you more stuff. Again, it attaches to one of the... in addition, I have a repair bay. So what this allows me to do is if I take an Autobot on a mission and they get discarded, they do not automatically go back to the arc. They get discarded. They get a little bit beat up. They got to go back to the shop, etc. The repair bay allows me to discard a card and bring a card out of my discard, or anybody's discard, a little bit earlier. So if you have that bot that you just want to cycle through, as long as you got your repair bay going, you're willing to discard, you can do that. This gets unlocked as I fill the arc with Energon. This one I just pay 6 and I'm able to unlock it. So for the most part, G.I. Joe deck building game is about cycling the Joes, making sure you have Joes that are appropriate to the mission. Same thing with the Autobots. It just has a little bit of a different grammar in terms of how they come in, how they cycle out, and how you construct yourself so that you have as much access to them as possible. There is a lot more that got added to the bad guy side. So first of all, like I showed in the intro, you have your key villains. Certain complications and other effects will bring them out. You also have these cassettes. These are basically side missions. So the complications and other effects will pump out the cassettes. You know who I'm talking about: Laserbeak, Ravage, Rumble, etc. So they're little annoyances that can get in your way. Here is the Constructicons. So these act like battalions. So here is the row. I have it arranged top to bottom just for the sake of the camera. When the battalion is played, just like usual, it's going to cover up a card, and you can't interact with it until you defeat this as a side mission. The Constructicons work a little bit differently. They go on cards, and they represent side missions. So they still allow you to interact with the card. It just costs 2 extra. It kind of goes under like this. And they kind of get placed this way. If I were to allow all 6 of these to come out, then Devastator comes out. Hopefully I don't demonstrate that. But probably inevitable. You'll see Devastator along the way. Last thing here is this space bridge. When the Act 1 is defeated, then the space bridge opens up. At the end of every round, this marker is going to progress. I apologize. This would be a nice Decepticon marker, but I don't know where it is. So we're using a homemade marker. Anyway, so it's going to progress at the end of every round, and then it's going to bring more cards, more enemies out there. And then when it flips, badness happens. I'll get into that when I trigger it, which no doubt I'll trigger that too. The missions are a little bit different. They work mostly the same. The biggest difference is that I took out 1 card from Act 2 and 1 card from Act 3. So in the base game, you have to defeat 9 of these. In this game, you have to defeat 7. That is to offset the fact that the bridge is going to bring out more and more Constructicons. So instead of beating 2 extra big missions, you're going to be defeating a whole bunch of Constructicons and complications. A lot more of those cards come out, which is where a lot of the tracking comes in that I mentioned. Everything else from the base game is basically the same. I get 2 turns before the round trigger. So like 1 turn, and then advance all the threat stuff. So let's go ahead, draw our 5 Joes, and get started. All right, so let's get Secret Meetup put in play. It says that I have to have Bumblebee with me, which should not be a problem. At the end of each round, +1 threat for every 2 players in the game. That would be me. Then draw another complication. Boy, do I not like complications, especially the beefed up ones here. So that is secret until the next thing comes out. And I'm looking for more recon, so that will influence my purchasing decision. So this is perfect. The other reason I wanted to buy this nice and early. So add 2 Energon to the pool. I'm actually going to play that right now. I can. I have a choice to play this either outside the mission or during the mission because of this symbol. I'm going to play it right now. So I got 6, and nice and early, I get Teletran, which will give me an extra 2 recon for that mission when I bring Bumblebee. So notice I said when and not if. Come on down, Bumblebee. All right. Also, I get their recon. So I have lots of recon to put against this secret meetup. So I am not going to take the transport mode. I can, but if I took the transport mode, notice what happens. I lose the prestige. So I got to bring the vamp. Doesn't matter. Doesn't do anything for me, but I will take the vamp. I do lose the option of getting that 1 wild die if I took this, but I'd rather have the prestige. So we are going to go for broke. We're going to do all 3 of these. Actually, you know what? Should I hold this Joe back just in case that is a side mission so I could do the side mission? I don't need to because I have this turn and then the next turn. So I think I'll respond to that as I get it. So let's go ahead and just send all the Joes in the vamp. Not going to show the vamp every time. I will note when I use a vehicle that is not the vamp. Complication. Double trouble! Story mission. Reroll all double dice results that I get. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. So for rock and roll, I get 4 recon. I get 1 from GI, and I get 2 from the recon/tracker. So that gives me a grand total of 7. This is 5, so I should probably shore myself up with some Energon. Let's roll 9 dice and see what happens. Bam! All right, so story mission says re-roll all the doubles. So I did get a couple of doubles. Holy criminy, did I get a couple of doubles. Although I got the 4, so that's not too bad. Yeah, not by as much as I would have wanted to, but the secret mission is defeated. The benefit is I can bring the threat meter down 1 and return Bumblebee straight to the arc. Normally it would get discarded, but instead they go to my arc. I have this card that comes. I'm going to cycle out the inspiration, which would draw a card if I had a leader. Probably get a lot of Autobots this game. Not leader, so we don't need you. Hoo-hoo, a vehicle afterburner. +1 wild skill against side missions. Very nice. Love it. So I'm probably going to get that. All right, so I ended with 9 to spend. So let's go ahead and spend 3 of them on Afterburner. This game is so full of side missions. Something that specifically helps that will be amazing. Let's see what else I get. Oh, wow, lots of utilities, distractions. Okay, that's a possibility. Changing 1 success to 2. But for the sake of auto-botting it up, let's go ahead and get Perceptor. I'm going to use the Marksman skill. So you always have the same climax battles at the end of Act 1, 2, and 3, depending on the mission you use. So I happen to know that the climax act in 1 has Marksman. Let's go ahead and get Perceptor's Marksman. And for that, I get 1 Energon. And oh, by the way, retcon at the end of every round, add 1 Energon. That was from the last round, so I apologize for, like I said, I'm going to lose some of this stuff. I'm going to do the best that I can. And also, Bumblebee does come back. They do not get discarded. I will have to spend time fishing them out. Speaking of filming stuff, a little bit out of order. At the end of the last round, I progressed this 2. Beating that mission brings this back 1. At the end of this round, it's going to go up again, back and forth, back and forth. All right, next hand, I have 5 cards, including my cover girl. So 5 would ordinarily be put me in a no man's land in terms of purchases. But in solo, glad I could represent this rule. You pay 1 less per Autobot for every Autobot that is in the arc, which is amazing. So Perceptor and Bumblebee are in the arc. I get 1 and a discount, and so I'm going to go ahead and buy Wheeljack. So Wheeljack, so the culminating Act 1 has vehicles, so I like the look of Wheeljack. They also let me buy gear and utility. Don't know if I want to fill up my hand with gear and utility. I mean, you can't buy everything, but having that extra skill, that can't be that bad. And for adding a bot, I get to add an Electron, and for ending a round, I can add another Electron full up. And just in case you're wondering, the regular dice are not limited. So if you roll 10, then you just roll 8 and then 2 and then 2. Energon is capped at 8. Nothing else to bother me, so I get the end of round bump as well as the track bump. On to round 3. All right, new round. We got Investigate Mysterious Desert Operation. Reports indicate that Cobra is busy digging in the middle of nowhere. Whatever they're up to, it can't be good. Always digging in the middle of nowhere and never good. All right, so there's a tank in there. I got a tank. We got 1 complication at the end of each round. Add 1 face-down complication to this mission and 1 Constructagon to the lineup. At the end of each round, that's good. So plenty of a recon for you. And we got to secure the Energon Mine, which will take vehicles and marksmen. I've been preparing for that. And we get 1 complication. All right, first things first, we're going to have played this comms, which allows me to cycle a card, get rid of Stalker. I got no use for you if you're an expensive Joe. Instead, I get Mainframe. We'll see if I get some tech enemies out there. I got 3 left. We're going to go ahead and use all those 3 on night vision goggles. So the night vision goggles provide rerolls. And I'm also going to save this second effort into the reserve. So lots of rerolls for this next turn. And Ripcord, yeah, probably. I like the wilds, but I don't know if I'm going to be buying you too soon. All right, so let's go ahead and throw out a rock and a roll in the vamp. So I'm not going to show the vamp. Nice and boring. So then I get to declare how other bots that are going to go out there are Joes. I have 2 Joes. Let's take out 1, save the other one in case this is a side mission. This is more often than not side missions. So if I'm feeling good, then I like to keep at least 1 Joe back. And bring Bumblebee out there for their recon. So we got 4, 5, 6, 7 off of Teletran, and also 2 wild dice from the cards. Let's see what I get for the complication. Override security system, side mission at the end of your turn, +1. We got tech and martial arts. You want me to take care of that by myself? I don't know. I'm going to do that. All right, I'm feeling pretty good. I got some rerolls coming. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Investigate Mysterious Desert Operation is done. Reward. Either -1 threat or each player may draw a card. Let's do the -1 threat because I got that override security systems coming and the threat comes easy. All right, so I got this side mission over here. What am I supposed to do? Got your back, kiddo. All right, Wheeljack, always nice to have options over there. Going to add their tech and pay 2 less to recruit the next gear. That was always very helpful this turn. Let's see what happens. So I have 3. It's not great, but I have items for reroll. So I think I can get this too. Oh my God. That luck will not last. But that is done. And Wheeljack will go into the discard pile at the end of the turn. So that is it for the mission phase. 2 Joes on missions, 2 removals. Do not need your recruit points. And before I recruit, I did have this card diffused, so I didn't show that before. If I defeated a side mission this turn, -1. Yeah! I'm going to take this card, put it out. I'm going to reserve night vision goggles for the next turn. Don't need the recruit now. That leaves me with 7. I do have discount for Wheeljack. I don't need it. Let's go ahead and take Warpath. This will help me with the boss coming up. So let's take that and let's see what's coming up. Cover fire. Lots of utilities. Let's go ahead and reshuffle that off camera. And TCOG device. This one, target Autobot on this mission in bot mode may also use its alt mode. So I get to do both with this TCOG device that goes on the top of my deck. No utility, no utility. Hot Rod, what? 10 big fat points. Ooh, we're going to set up to buy you next turn. Night vision goggles in reserve, as I noted. More threat onto the climactic battle of Act 1. All right, new round. Secure the secret Energon Mine. Cobra and the Decepticons need significant power to construct their space bridge, and they are using Earth's Energon to do it. Space bridge. Don't like the sound of that. All right, put the space bridge into play. There it is. At the end of each turn, not round, remove 1 Energon from the Energon pool. And yes, at the end of the round, I did put that Energon back on there. Sorry I didn't show that. So I'm going to get 2 complications. They're still level 1, so they are going to be that weaker, but still formidable. The next is going to be stealth, and my favorite, I did not do this on purpose, people, once again hit me in the recons. This happens every once in a while. This is nonsense. I can't do too much at all. So I do have this card, but I'm going to keep it in reserve. So I'm going to get rid of this card. It's not going to do me any good. I will use the comms. I'm going to try to get a better Joe. I need Joes. Only Joes can go on missions. Autobots, for the most part, cannot start missions unless it's a special person like Hot Rod, which I'm definitely going to buy. If I can, Hot Rod can start a mission. Autobots can't. All right, so let's punt out Distraction. See if we get a suitable Joe. Okay, Crankcase. Vehicles, yep, that is the right one. If the mission succeeds, return the transport to the hangar or arc instead of discarding it. Ooh, a special Transformers one. Let's celebrate the occasion by acquiring Crankcase at the top of my deck. See what else I get. Oh, Prowl, another, at least a level 2, Autobot Tracker and Tech. Prowl can start a mission. They are a leader as well. Actually, I play this card, the Recharge, which adds 2, bringing me up to 7. I have 2 recruit left, no use for them, so pass turn to the next. However, every time a turn ends, I have to remove 1 Energon from the pile. Hopefully that doesn't matter too much. All right, so here we go. Loaded for bear. Got 2 Joes on here with the proper skills, vehicles and marksman. I have the and right there, so I'm going to enjoy the company of both. They are going to drive in with Warpath. Warpath brings 2 marksmanship, so I got 3, 7, 9 regular dice so far. I am also going to bring Prime Trailer. I have to discard 2 Joes in order to bring that along. It would be down to 1 Joe if I used one of the bots as a transport, but I like the Warpath. They're built for that. Look at that. I just have everything going for it. So Prime's Trailer comes along, plus 2 marksman and plus 1 wild skill. Lots of dice. And I'm also going to bring Perceptor as a bot, not an alt. No, the microscope is not a transport. So I get a wild skill, and I also get the marksman. And when Perceptor is assigned to a mission, peek at 1 face down complication. Let's peek at this one. It is Energon Heist. Remove 3 from the pool. Peeking is really good because you can assign Perceptor, look at it, and then decide if you want to assign more Joes later. So not a problem. I am good to go. Got the Energon Heist. I had 6 dice in the pool. That's going to go down to 3, and that gets discarded. And we have a Rattler attack. That is a side mission at the end of my turn plus 1. We know all about these. So I actually have 12 in total, and I am going to roll the Energon because if I defeat them, or when I defeat them, we're putting success out in the air. I'll get them back. So let's go ahead and roll. What? What is that? That is no. All right. Well, good thing I brought that Energon. Let's see what I can do with the makeups. So I have 4 more coming. Come on, better. Oh, oh, the dice. But I'm able to secure the Energon mine. -1 threat, add 3 to the Energon pool. So those 2 go back, as well as 1 more, giving me 4 on the arc total. And I'm managing this pretty effectively. I think it's because I'm getting so much into the recon skill, and I'm able to use my rock and roll MVP over and over again for their best skill. I'm taking it. So here are the eligible cards I can use to purchase. 3, 5, 7, 9. I got 1 Autobot in the arc for the discount. Here we go, Hot Rod. You are mine. You go straight into the arc. Bam! And that gets me an Energon for the recruit. Hey, look at this. I got a side mission that requires vehicles, and it would up my threat at the end of the turn. What's this? I get to do something right away. Woo-hoo-hoo! I also have this in place, so the track would actually go down 1. How amazing is that? So let's go ahead and roll our 4 die. 1, 2. The Rattler is defeated. Unfortunately, Hot Rod is going to go into the discard for that. I got a big fat pile on my discard. I'm going to pay for that, by the way. I'm going to have a couple turns where I struggle, but at least I was able to get through the first act. All right, end of turn stuff. It only goes up 2, does not go up 3. I get a die for the arc, bringing me up to a grand total of 2. Get out of here. Side mission. Aw, too bad. Hot Rod is defeated. Oh, yeah. I had this going. If I defeat a side mission, beep, it's doing real well with that. And at the beginning of Act 2, I get to reveal these two. So now I have Jazz, more recon, and Cup from the movie, which is available to me next round. Advance to Space Bridge 1 at the end of the round and add a Constructicon. They're all the same to the line. As a reminder, the card above, this Constructicon costs +2 to recruit. If all the Constructicons have been placed, put Devastator into play. They are a side mission, like a lot of things in this game. Last thing is since I got a good thing, the enemy gets a good thing, I get to shuffle the discard pile of 1 and the 2 cards. They're all going to go in a better complication pile for the boss. Finally, on to Act 2. All right, let's do it. New act. Locate the secret lab. Cobra is using Synthor technology to turn the Autobots into vulnerable blobs of human flesh. It must be stopped. No, Hot Rod cannot be reduced to a human. I got 2 complications. Put Old Snake into play. Autobots sent on missions require a transport. Ugh, can't use skills or game text abilities and have only +1 wild skill. Nerfing all of my Autobots. How terrible is that? Stealth and recon, that's great. Explosives and stealth, that's missing my my build skills. I might have to let this one cook for a couple of rounds while I rejigger my deck and prepare for this next one. I think I can handle this one good though. All right, so Old Snake, here we go. Martial arts or recon, they nerf my interrupt abilities. That's no good. And I get 2 complications, which could be good, could be bad, or could be bad, could be worse. That's how that goes. So I knew this was going to happen. I warned y'all, all of these cards need to go back in their respective places. We got Warpath and Prime's Trailer, which are going to go back in the hangar. So they're available, but they don't do much for me in terms of my hand. Hot Rod and Wheeljack go into the arc. Good news is that they give me 2 Energon for going back there. Bad news, I have 1 card in my hand. So I wasn't going to do too much anyway, but this is why I got Afterburner. Afterburner has the tank. The tank says +2 wild skills against side missions. Guess what Scrapper is? Side mission. So we got CoverGirl is going to just abandoned by all of her troops. She is going to hop on the cycle by herself and take care of it. And it's a great combo because when CoverGirl's on the mission, the tank bonus always activates. What is the tank bonus? Return Afterburner to the hangar. So don't mess up what I got going on in my hand. So any skill 1, I got 3 for vehicles, and I got 2 off of Afterburner. So let's go ahead and roll 5 against 2. My odds are pretty good there, aren't they? I only have to match it, and I don't. The first time I straight up failed. Good thing it was low stakes, but I have a feeling I'm going to pay for that. Oh well. But at least I get 1, which is going to get wasted. Afterburner goes back to the hangar. That's not so bad. And, well, that's too bad. All right, so here is my hand. 2 cards I can't use because it has the M symbol, so we're definitely going to take out Old Snake this turn. We're going to begin the mission with Hot Rod, not as a bot, but as a vehicle. +4 wild skill against officers. Old Snake is an officer, a Cobra officer. This Joe, whoever this guy is, we'll call him Billy Bob. Billy Bob Joe has never ridden in more style inside of a leader Autobot. And let's go ahead and throw another Joe with them. Let's hold back the last Joe for some special mission. We have the Teletran, which there's an Autobot on the mission, so they get 2 more dice. That brings me to 8 total. And for good measure, let's bring Bumblebee, +2 recon, and for each additional Autobot, +1. So we're rolling 11 dice total. I only need 5, right? I only need 5. Let's see what I get. I get way more than 5. Old Snake is defeated. So as the leader, or as the vehicle, I have to discard Hot Rod immediately without getting benefit of the prestige. I keep on calling it prestige. It's recruit. But I do get the recruit off of these 4, and I have now unlocked these 2 cards. Not that. Let's unlock that TCOG device for 2. I may exile you, Joes, but first I got another mission to do. There's literally no reason not to try this. Let's take this regular old Joe, put him in the afterburner. The afterburner is going to get discarded, but it's worth taking a crack because every round these things come out and more. So I got 3 dice against 2 right here. See how I do? That's all I needed. Bam. So finally, what my leader could not do, this schmucky GI can do. Bye-bye, GI. You are retired. Back to the pile. No. It took me a while to get used to the extra complexity of the Autobots, but now that I'm into it, super fun. All right, so we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all I need. We're going to take these 2 Joes, and they are gone. I could recruit a Joe, but we're not going to do that. Bumblebee will be discarded. TCOG device. These are all going to get discarded. I'm going to use the 6 to wake up this repair bay. So the repair bay is going to let me bring Autobots out of my discard as opposed to drawing them if I discard a card. So yeah, that's just a no-brainer. End of turn stuff. The marker finally reaches the yellow, and we get 1 dice for the arc. We are also going to advance the bridge 1, which adds a complication to the pile. So I'm going to have to deal with 3 of them when I open the secret lab. That's not going to be fun. And oh yeah, did I forget to mention that the Space Bridge put out Hook, another Constructicon. Let's go get him. So we have 5 cards. Perceptor goes directly into the arc, which gets me an Energon. I'm up to 3 over there. And I am going to use my repair bay. So let's go ahead and take this reroll. We're going to discard that and bring. So I believe that Bumblebee does add the Energon. So if I had used them as their alt, then they would return. So they can't be discarded if they use them as a card. But if they come out of the discard and go into the arc, they give me a Energon? I think so. More Energon for the arc. We're going to put rock and roll for the reserve. So I'm going to go for the main story mission next turn. Let's use Crankcase and their vehicles, get them in the afterburner vehicle going after the side mission. Excellent. So we got 4 +2 wild skill against side missions. This will go on my discard because I don't have a tank, but it'll be worth it to get rid of Hook. Let's see. This roll has failed before. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Got that sweet 1 die face. Hook is history. Now on these turns that I only have 2, so I only use 1 card. That was 2. And I could still buy the service rifle. It's not bad. It gives me some recruit, and if this card is part of a side mission +1 wild skill, it is not a Joe. It gunks up my deck, so I'm just going to punt on it for now. I'll use it if I'm desperate, but I really doubt it. The other thing I can do is reduce this by 1. All right, so I do not love my odds in this, and I'll tell you why. So I missed this the first time. I'm not going to miss it this time. So Autobots are basically Joes. They require a transport, can't use skills, and they have 1 wild skill per them. So they have to just jump in the vamp. Never got a better transport. There's a few that carry like 8, 9 or whatever. So we're going to have to rely on the vamp that is full of backup for Rock and Roll, who is my MVP so far. So we got Rock and Roll over here. We're also going to bring Cover Girl. She adds the 1 wild die. She doesn't add anything else. All right, so we are also going to bring along Bumblebee and Wheeljack. It doesn't matter who I bring along Autobot-wise. They only add 1 wild skill. So that is 4, 5. I got the Autobots down, so 6, 7, the Recon. 8, 9 as Energon. So 9 to 6. That's not very good odds in terms of rolling, but I do have a set of night vision goggles for some rerolls, so I will do my best I can. Part of the reason I'm doing this is because it's not bad to fail, and I may fail just because of all these complications. So I did not want them to add up, so let's go ahead and unleash them right now. Search and rescue. Tracker, at the end of your next turn, fail the current story mission and discard this card. Next turn, not this turn. So that is a personal mission for me, but I love side missions. Another side mission, Overwhelming Force. At the end of your turn, +1 threat. I'm not too worried about that. And Anonymous Tip-Off. Each player shuffles 1 Cobra Trooper into their deck. Cobra Troopers are right here. When gained, place into your discard pile. Play this card during your turn. If this card is not defeated, discard it. So gunks up the hand. I think I can work with that. But as far as impediments to the enemy go, I could have done much worse. All right, 9 dice, potential rerolls. Let's do it. Promising. 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I got 5 so far. Let's just use second effort. This card that is completely useless. See if I can get to the promised land. There I do! Yes! Locate the secret lab is done. So I get to turn my threat meter down 1, which is going to go back up 1, and return all Autobots on the mission to the Ark. Fantastic. So we get both Autobots going back to the Ark, and I assume that means that I can place 2 Energon here as well. All right, so now I got to deal with this side stuff. So I held back Crankcase for just this idea. They are going to take Warpath on, or hop into Warpath. That's going to give them +2 Marksman. The vehicles doesn't do anything, but this one has Marksman, so I have 3 dice to roll against Overwhelming Force. I also have Perceptor, who gives me 2, so I have 5 dice against 3. Did not need the second reroll card, so I have that going for me as well. Let's give it a roll. We got 1, 2, so I'm going to use it. I get 1 reroll because I have 1 Joe on there, so I get 1 reroll. There it is. I'm able to beat Overwhelming Force, keeping the threat meter at bay. What a turn, Joes. What a turn. So we have all that to spend. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are going to get Ripcord because we need to get more Joes in the deck. Let's put that out here. Ooh, okay. And a water transport. I'll keep an eye out for that. And I should use this, by the way. That's my last card of the turn. Comms. Get rid of mainframe. You're not getting bought anytime soon. Proximity Mine. Discard 1 reveal complication. Yeah! Let's get rid of those nasty complications. And I have 6 left, so I'm going to take CoverGirl, take her out of the deck, and prepare for the explosive finale with this upgraded version of CoverGirl. End of turn stuff. We get 1, 2. Movement over here. So then this is there. I haven't had to use the Cobra Battalion yet, but that's going to happen next turn, most probably. And I've been jipping myself over here. I've been only giving myself 1. It's actually add 1 Energon to a max of 3 for each Autobot in the Ark. There are 2. Let's get 2 on the Ark right there. Flying through the game pretty good, but the game is going to fight back. They are going to deploy 1 Constructicon from the center and 1 Constructicon. You see the symbol over here matches this. Long Haul and Scavenger are going to cover up Proximity Mine and Ratchet. Ratchet, I think I've evolved past you, so go ahead and have fun with Long Haul. On to next turn. All right, climactic battle of Act 2, Wrench in the Gears. The Constructicons have ramped up their efforts to complete the space bridge. Their momentum must be slowed or all is lost. Why is all always being lost? Anyway, so we got their requisites, complications, add 1 construction to the lineup, or Constructicon to the lineup. I don't have enough of those. At the end of each round, add 1 Constructicon to the line and space bridge +1. Basically, the game pushing this new mechanism, Bone Crusher, is leaping into play. And these numbers are huge and considerable, so it's going to take me a while to get through these. So we have 2 complications. Boom and boom. And this is the current state of the market. I am not liking it. So drew my 5 cards. I got 2 Joes. Afterburner is back. Goes straight into the hangar. Going to use this one. I'd like to reduce my threat, but it is more important to discard that and get back Perceptor, which is going to go in the Ark and give me another Energon, making for 7 out of 8. All right, so let's go start to chop away at these side missions a little bit. So we got Cover Girl in the Afterburner. Cover Girl will trigger the Afterburner's bonus, which is to go back to the hangar and not get discarded. Going to need them. So going to start on Long Haul. 4 from the vehicles, 2 from the wild dice of the Afterburner. This can't be. Come on, give me the 2 that I need. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Long Haul is defeated. Now, I've not forgotten you, Search and Rescue. So at the end of this very turn, the fail effect would automatically trigger on the story mission. We're not living that life. You can defeat the story mission and just have this go away. And I like doing that, but I'm not equipped for that right now. Instead, we are going to put Ripcord into the Afterburner. So Ripcord has 2 wilds. The Afterburner gives 2 wilds. So do you need some help? I perceive, friend Ripcord, that the probabilities are against you. I shall lend my assistance. So we got 2 marksmen. We got 4 dice, 2 dice, 6 dice was enough last time. That doesn't count. Let's roll for real. We got all 6 dice there. This game giveth and taketh away. Just barely gaveth by using a lot of resources. I don't have to worry about search and rescue anymore. So Search and Rescue had a boat. That is not a tank. So Afterburner is going to go in the discard, as is Perceptor. So I have this much to spend, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could take advantage of a discount, but I don't need to. I'm going to buy Jazz. Gets me some stealth for the next mission. +1 wild skill for every 2 side missions in play. So love orienting myself around side missions. Cup, 4 explosive. I could use you. We'll see if I get you later. That gets me 1 energon and then 2 more for having played Recharge. So I am full up. So here's some really sad news. This was the rest of my deck. Hot Rod goes back in the Ark. And I got these 2 cards. This is the mission that I got to do, or else it goes back in my discard. My next 2 cards, Perceptor, another card for the deck, and a Ripcord. There is no way I'm going to be able to take this one out this turn, so I'm going to hit the bad thing. But that's okay. That's part of the game. So let's go ahead and take advantage of the fact that Ripcord loves going after side missions. He is going to go in Bumblebee. So just the 2 wilds. And the bonus if I defeat the side mission, and also +1 wild skill and returns to the Ark for free. I like that. Keep my hand clear. So I have 3 dice at this 1. Come on. There's no way I could fail this, right? Oh, man, I saw this, but then there's this. Thank goodness. Cobra Trooper is taken care of. All right, so I got 3 to spend. I got a vehicle, which will not gunk up my deck. Very cool. And a ship. So that's always nice to have those options. Blaster. I'm getting a lot of Autobots. Lots of stealth and recon. Another one that is not a transport, so they're like turns into a radio and someone apparently plays it over the tank loudspeaker. I'll absolutely take that visual. Too bad you're level 1. I think I'm progressed past buying the level 1s. Did not use the T-Cog device, what goes in reserve. The tracker had gone down 1 for the successful missions. Let's go back 1 and bring out my Cobra Battalion. Don't have to worry about the Ark because that's full of energon. I've been real careful about that. All right, so this is some bad news right here. I got a Cobra Battalion. I was looking at getting Prowl, especially for the next boss. The next boss has tech and tracker, so I'm looking at 6 die over here. But Cobra Battalion, a little tiny weenie human, or I guess like group of humans, is gotten Prowl into a trap, and I got to get them out of it. So we get both of these things. Not this one, the wrench in the gears. So add 1 constructed con to the line. We already did that. At the end of each round, add 1 constructed con to the lineup and space bridge +1. So we're going to go move these 2. We're going to get 2 constructed cons in the market. This does not look good, Joe. It does not look good. Dun, dun, dun. All right, opening draw. Wasn't going to get much better, so I'm going for broke. I drew Cover Girl. She has explosives. She's driving Warpath with more bonus to explosives. I also drew Crankcase. I'm going to hold them back because they don't really do much for me. Autobot City, 4 out of my 5 bots. Bumblebee gets dice based on the other bots. That's 3. Jazz gets some stealth and dice based on the number of side missions. Oh, yeah. There you go. Perceptor's going to give me 1 and buff what Bumblebee's got going on. Also, Wheeljack doesn't give me much, but I'm using this T-Cog device, which allows 1 bot to use their alt side, which is going to be the wild skill. So I got all these dice to contend with. So now let me take care of the complications. So first of all, Fang Squadron, a 3, explosives or vehicles at the end of your turn, +1 threat. Don't like that at all, but at least it's not something I have to worry about right away. Operation Surveillance, draw a mini cassette, then remove this complication from the game. No problem. All right, these things are annoying. They go all over the place. This one is Rumble. Attach this card to the hangar. At the end of each round, destroy 1 non-vamp transport in the hangar. I got a few. Destroy doesn't take it out of the game. That just means you discard them. But that's still pretty annoying, so I'll probably take care of Rumble afterwards. So I got a lot to do, but at least I have a main mission staring me in the face. All right, come on. I'm doing this in front of everybody to see if I get my 8. Oh boy. See, I got a lot of doubles, so that really helped me. If they weren't doubles, would I have gotten it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even not doubles, I got it. So that makes me really happy. That could have gone a lot worse. Woohoo! So I have conquered the wrench in the gears. And I'm able to lower threat by 2, space bridge -1. So lower threat -2 puts me in the green, but I have a feeling that's going to get jacked up pretty good. Move the space bridge back 1, buys me some time here too. All right, so now that that's out of the way, I really want to get Prowl. Prowl is awesome for the next one, Tracker and Tech. So I didn't have great bots for the mission. That's why I had to use so many. This one just goes right for the mission, so I'm going to want that. Okay, so Crankcase is on the case. They are going to ride the shark. So that gives me a vehicle. So that is 5 dice that I am rolling against the Cobra Battalion. That shouldn't be too much of a problem, right? Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. Over-rolling. The key in this game is to be over-prepared. Do not rely on your dice. So the mission is successful, so I return a transport to the Ark. That's good news. We get rid of the Cobra Battalion. Goodbye. So now my recruit phase. Thank goodness I have all this recruit to spend. That is 14 total. Gonna get Prowl. Prowl, I get a 1 coin discount or recruit discount, so that's 7. So that goes directly into my Ark, getting back 1 of my dice. Let's see if you are a Joe that I can use. Oh yeah, Sergeant Savage. Oh yeah, Sergeant Savage. Explosives and marksman. If Sergeant Savage is the only Joe on this mission, get better. Yeah, I'm going to have to spread guys out in order to do the side missions. So I think Sergeant Savage might be a good bet for me. So let's go ahead and put them on the top of the deck. So that leaves me with 2. Probably not going to get anything with 2. Drone Strike. Drone Strike's really good. And I played Wheeljack. Paid 2 less to recruit to buy your next gear utility this turn. This is a gear. All sorts of bonuses. Very lucrative turn for me. There we go. A Transformers card. Autobots on this mission. Have +1 wild, +1 wild. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to get bought with my Autobot heavy strat, but that is next turn. In case you were wondering, these are the other 3 cards I drew this turn. So I did defeat a side mission this turn, so my threat goes down again, deeper into the green. So good. The comms, I am going to cycle out a card. I can cycle out any card. The scavengers don't actually block the cards. The battalions do. The scavenger or the Constructicons just kind of let things happen. Let's get rid of this proximity mine, see if I can get another useful Joe. Hawk is about as useful a Joe as you can get. Marksman and stealth. If something comes out with those stats, then absolutely. We're going to tap you. And just for the heck of it, because I can, I'm going to save this. I was ready to use it. So that was another reason why I felt decent with that thing. But I'm just going to reserve this and save it for next turn. Wow, what a turn. Here is my threat meter. Unfortunately, this text is very explicit. At the end of your turn, this is the end of my turn, we get more threat. All right, for my next turn, I have a lot of side missions to take care of, this one being the priority. So I knew a bunch of the cards that I had. I ended up drawing Afterburner. The Afterburner is just going to get deployed right away. And Sergeant Savage. We're going to get 3 explosives. If they're alone, gain 3 explosives. So then I have 8 dice to roll against this 3. Decent odds, right? Let's grab them and find out. Long as I roll doubles, I am in the clear. So Fang Squadron is out. Next up is Rumble. We are going to go rock and roll, strut and stroll inside of the Shark using all of my side mission vehicles because this is a side mission turn. So we are rolling 6 against Rumble. Let's see how I do. 3, bam. So if I'm succeeding a lot, it's because I know the odds of the game. I'm really trying hard to over-roll. So I'm taking the luck because I am in many ways creating it. Darn it. I'm going to play Recharge to get 2 Energon. So that gives me 3. And I'm going to push my luck a bit over here because I want Hawk. A Hawk would be a little bit out of my price range. Scavengers and Block Hawk could just increase the cost. But why try? Why let them hang out if I can get Hawk for cheaper? Hot Rod is a leader. They can start a mission. If they're the only leader, +3 wild scale. And they don't need a vehicle to be on a mission. So I only have 3 dice in the Energon pool. No way I can make it better. So let's see if I succeed. Yes! Woohoo! So Hot Rod, unfortunately, did a great job in the discard. So many things in the discard. But so is Scavenger, and Hawk is free to purchase. So those are the cards that I've used this turn. Did not end up using Drone Strike, which is fine. But that is 9. So 9 is going to be enough. Waste the 2, get Hawk. And the next card to replace it is Wild Bill. Whoa, love getting Wild Bill. Probably going to be the last Joe that I acquire this game. So this goes up 2. I do not get the end of round combat battalion. Very important. And also I only get the 1 Energon. So I was able to end the turn with Energon. So the Teletran is still online. This moves forward. Scavenger is back. Covers up Wild Bill. What a shame. All right, next round. Rescue attempt. One of the top Autobots has been captured and reprogrammed by Destro on Cobra Island. The Joes will need to reverse the process quick before they cause too much damage. Put Destro into play. You see them in a second. Attach the highest cost Autobot in the Arc, any player's hand, or discard pile to this card. Doesn't matter where they are going to capture Hot Rod. No! Hot Rod is now out of play for me, but that leaves Prowl to go. Tracker and Tech. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Actually, they are going to get played, and the last of the mission is over here. Marksman and Explosives. Got that set up too. So then we draw 1 complication. The level 3 complications were drawn, so I could get something really nasty right about now. And also Destro comes into play. They are at 5. A lot of the officers are 5s. Ooh, Hot Rod is my anti-officer bot. How dare you? Anyway, we roll all 2 success die results against the story mission. The end of the round, draw 1 complication. So at the end of this round, I'm going to have beaten Destro, and then I'll go for this card next round. Goal to turn is take out Destro. Let's take out Destro. Here is my turn. I pull. These were in the deck. This got reshuffled. So Warpath is going to get pulled and then just get redeployed right away. So I got Cover Girl out there. Cover Girl is going to give the explosives. So I got 5 right there. Sergeant Savage is not going to be the only Joe in the mission because it's too important. But you do lend your 3 explosives for 8, and I got some re-rolls for this situation. So let's go ahead and roll all 8 of my die against Destro. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. That's just not going to cut it. But I have this second effort. Let's go ahead and re-roll 1. Boom! Let's do it. Destro is defeated. Don't want to hear from you. I was just talking about how great Wild Bill is. So Hawk is going to try to free them up. They have the Marksman and the active player +2 wild skill. Told you that's great. Going by themselves in the vamp. So we got 6 against 2. I feeling okay about this. Yep, that is the game. Do I want to use this reroll? Is it worth it? Because I've had it in reserve the entire time. I'm not actually going to buy Wild Bill. I'm going to buy another one. So I'm just going to leave Scavenger there for now. Lucky for y'all because that means it's that much more likely that y'all see Devastator in this playthrough. Instead, I'm going to use my 5 to get this awesome card that I was looking at before. More than meets the eye. Autobots in this mission have +1 wild skill on both die. That goes right on top of my deck. And the Sky Striker XP14F. Oh, some stealth. I like that. May pick that up next turn. So this is pretty funny. The hand I pulled was this and 4 Autobots. Oh, 5 max in the arc. That fits those 5. I get dice. At least I am full up. What am I going to do with all that? Oh, and oh, by the way, I probably should have showed this. These got revealed. I can now buy these. So Windblade is available on the top. If I purchase Windblade, then that uncovers Ironhide, who's my favorite. But I'm going to have to get through Windblade first. Don't know if that's going to happen this game. Wah, wah. So this is more of a delay tactic. I don't feel good about having nothing in hand, especially in terms of Joes. I can start the mission with Prowl, but it would be all purple dice, and that's just not going to do it. It's 8 dice, total 9 on here, so I need some Joes. So let's delay a turn. Let's get Jazz out there and just whittle away at these Constructicons. I got 4 dice because they have 4 recon, and I could take more, but I still want to manage what's on my arc. But I am going to use this card, which will get me a wild die. 5 versus 2 should do it, right? Thank you. Thank you. Scrapper is defeated. This 4, the reason I did it the way I did it, so I can buy the Sky Striker. I now have 1 vehicle of each type, so I feel pretty good about that. And, whoa, the APC, that might get bought. So while the camera's here, this is part of the end of turn effects. It's just a big cascade, so just do it as the camera follows. We're going to get 1 Cobra Battalion from the threat meter. That goes up 1, and also 1 Constructicon comes out because of the bridge. I have 4 Autobots in here. The maximum that I can add at end of round is 3, so I'll go ahead and add that 3. I'm 1 short. The bridge progresses. They're only 2 away from getting what they get. I'm probably going to turn this thing over, which is just more crud. I'll show you that when it comes. And we're going to add another complication to the side over here. All right, first up, my first time that I haven't drawn any Autobots, but I did draw these 2. So finally, after a very frustrating run through that hand, I am now back basically to full capacity. I have this left. The game is telling me do side missions this round. So first of all, Ripcord, love Ripcord. We got Wild over there, and let's put them in the Afterburner. So +2 Wild skill, +2 Wild. Let's roll 4 against 2. This is pretty big. So let's see if I get the 2. The number of times it's like a bunch of nothing and 2 is pretty shocking, but I will take it. So that is defeated. Wild Bill is available, and I'm definitely going to buy them. But we're not done yet. Then we got Rock and Roll is going to... It doesn't matter. I'm not going to buy any of these other cards. But they are going to ride on the Shark, another side mission oriented vehicle. So we got +2 Wild skills, +2 Recon. This is actually a little bit better odds. Probably should have flipped that. Whatever. And I got my 2. All right. So barely getting it, but I'm rolling a bunch of dice to do it. So that was pretty awesome. What's not awesome is that I have to use the reserve reroll in order to be able to afford Wild Bill. Wild Bill is a necessity. This means that if the tracker is in yellow, which it currently is, +1 hit this mission. Very, very valuable. Not a die, +1 hit. And we got Alpine, a tracker. Let's see, I don't know. Someone who plans on failure. No, get out of here. I got the benefit of Ripcord, and I also got the benefit of Defuse. So I gain 2 on the tracker, but I'm still going to get that Cobra Battalion next turn. Or maybe I won't, because the boss brings that down. All right, here we go. Not holding back. Wild Bill gives me 3, and the hit. Crankcase gives me 4 because this device lets me turn their skill into wild. Prowl is going to give me 3 because of Tracker. You got Bumblebee for 3. We got Wheeljack, which contributes 1. Would contribute 2, but I ran out of dice. And the TCOG is going to to make sure that they use the alt mode on Wheeljack. So Wheeljack is going to have another die. So that's 9 of these regular mission dice. And I'm taking the alt mode of Perceptor, not a transport, so I could just take it. I discard 1 complication. So I think I have to execute it before. I didn't see any clarification in the FAQ or anything, so I'm just going to discard this one. Okay. I'll not deal with a side mission. That's fine. The second complication is Swarm Attack. Each player must discard 1 card with an M effect. If able, the complication cannot be targeted with M effects. So that's this recharge. That's terrible. So that is 1 and done. So now I'm ready to take on the boss with a massive roll. I have no rerolls. There's no safety net on this one. I do get 1 reroll of a green miss. I do get 1 hit. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Worth it! The rescue attempt is successful. -1 to the threat meter, which actually brings you back to green. That's very, very fun. And I return the attached Autobot to the Ark, which puts a lonely Energon back into the Ark. All right, we're going to make some purchases. I have 17 to spend because of all that purchasing power. We're going to buy Cup, which gets me a die. We're going to buy Windblade, which gets me another die. And then for that end of turn effect, we're going to get 3 more. So I'm effectively managing my Energon. Love it. And I may just buy Ironhide before the end of the game. However, the power is if the mission succeeds, you may discard a card to defeat a side mission. If I succeed the mission I want to succeed, then the game will be over. So, Ironhide, wish I got you earlier. Tracking goes up to 2. Very well managed by me. And all that good work that I used to defeat my Constructicons, I get 2 more back. There are 2 left before Devastator runs out. I'm going to make it my mission that the One Stop Co-op Shop audience never sees Devastator in this playthrough. On to the final battle. All right, final battle, destroy the space bridge. It all comes down to this. The space bridge must be destroyed or the Decepticon invasion force will continue to come through and Earth will be lost. The Joes will just have to get past Devastator. I'm a big fat liar, people. I said I was going to deny you Devastator. The game just says, you know what? Have Devastator for your face. 9 strength, vehicles, and explosives. When put into play and at the start of your turn, place all Constructicons in the lineup under Devastator. There are 4 of them. Hey, what about us? Cannot wait. The space bridge must be defended. Devastator is going to increase difficulty of the story mission for each Constructicon under here. When I defeat this card, I would discard all the Constructicons. So basically, game telling you beat Devastator first, then beat the space bridge with its 1 complication. And the bridge is complete, which is what this does. At the end of each player's turn, destroy the top 2 face-down cards of the main deck, which in a higher player count game is the time pressure to beat this thing fast. And solo, not so much. Don't have to worry about it. End of round, add 1 Constructicon to the lineup or to Devastator. But I have been prepared for this, people. Explosives, explosives, and more explosives. Devastator has explosives. The last boss has explosives. I had that one little point in Act 2 where I kind of mismatched and I had to use a whole bunch. Now I'm really focused. I'm feeling good. So I pulled CoverGirl and Sergeant Savage. I also pulled these 3 cards. Afterburner goes in the hangar. Comms is, I don't know. How you lasted until the end is beyond me. And the more than meets the eye, which means I get +1 wild skill for Cup, 2 wild skills. So that means a grand total of 14 of the regular dice, which is lovely. Oh my goodness. And we got 5 dice for Cup, 4 for the explosives, and 1 for more than meets the eye. I'm feeling pretty good. Let's take him down. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we got some extra dice to roll. So let's just nope. That was 10, and I got 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 4. I need to roll 2. Oh! How many times have I done that? Where everything is zeroed out and I get the double. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh! I just showed up. Yeah! Efficiency of cards in this game is king. Love it. So it only leaves me with 5 to spend. Not interested in getting anything or fattening my deck. So on to next turn. All right, so this isn't a very exciting turn, but that's okay. So first of all, I'm going to save Hawk for next turn. I'm going to go ahead and recharge, get 2 more Energon into the Arc. That makes 5. We got 3, 6, 9 total to spend. 3, yep, there we go. And with the 1 Autobot discount, I get Ironhide with their awesome explosives into my Arc for another die. And then the last 2 die are coming in for the end of the round. Yeah! So we get another Cobra Battalion because of the position in the yellow. I haven't hit red yet. Managed that pretty good. This is a loss condition, by the way, having all covered with battalions, but I'm not going to take care of that. Going after the boss next turn. Also, just for official sake, discarding cards out of the game. Not going to matter too much. Also getting Constructicon on the game. Not going to matter too much. Here we go, Joe. We are ready for the final battle. So this is the hand that I drew. We are going to discard Jazz and get Cup back. Right here, Marksman and Explosives. They are going to go in the Arc for now. We have 2 Joes, or actually 3 Joes available to go on the mission, which is perfect because I'm taking Warpath. Marksman and Explosives, the tank symbol matches. Marksman and Explosives, almost like they put it here on purpose, which they did. This is a Transformers set. So that will be Crankcase, Wild Bill, and Hawk, which I had reserved. Crankcase looks like the sore thumb, but I got Drone Strike to make there for Wild. So I got plenty of dice for you. In addition, we are taking 2 Autobots, Ironhide and Cup, recruited for just this purpose. Lots of explosive power brought to bear. So that is 15 green dice, all of the Energon dice. So I get to roll everything, and then I get to pick up the green and roll that basically twice. So let's give them all a good shake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, promising 7. Let's get these Energon out of the way and start to roll again. Feeling pretty good. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on. That was a 2. That was a 2. You guys saw it. You guys saw it. Yeah! The Joes are victorious. And with the Transformers, we have saved the world. I sincerely hope you had as much fun watching that full playthrough of G.I. Joe the Deck Building game plus the New Alliances Transformer set with me. I had played this a couple of times. I worked out the kinks. The first time and a half, I struggled. I got blown away. But you learn the deck. I mean, there's only one set of missions. And so the in-between missions are different, but those main missions are the same. So you build towards that. You manage the side stuff. And you're able to do it. So even though I knew kind of the path, there was enough of variety in there. Playing an Autobot-centric game a little bit more than I had in the previous games. There's a lot to explore here. I'm such a Transformers fan, and having the different modes of the bots and the going back to the Arc and everything, I just feel like this has a lot to offer. So as with all videos, my sincere hope is that I have displayed enough and shown the fun and give you the ability to discern whether this is worth your gaming time and gaming dollar. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop, reminding you that we'll see you at the next stop.